What's up, guys? Chasing Lamely here for episode number 6 of The American Dream on the F1 Manager 2023. And we're obviously playing as Haas. You can see it right in front of you. And if you can't see it in front of you, probably best to open your eyes. We're going to Imola today for the first of 2 races this season in Italy. We are currently sitting 5th in the Constructors' Championship. In the Drivers' Championship, we've got Kevin Magnussen in 9th. We've got flicking screens way too fast, and Nico Hulkenberg in 11th, so we're getting there just about, and on the fastest pit stop we're not even close to getting a point. Things have not gone well on that front. So, we need to have a look at what is going on with the car, because I've got a feeling we've got no new developments coming in at this episode, if I'm correct. No, we're all coming in for the next episode, or we will have some new front wings. That's fine. So, looking at the car analysis for this race then, if we look at the rank on the grid, 8th in top speed, which is recommended. 5th in medium speed, recommended. 1st in high speed, crucial. So, I am going to boldly predict we can probably take a top 5 finish today. I say that knowing there are still Mercs, Ferraris and Red Bulls out there, but let's dream big. Let's see what we can do. We're going to go forward though for a few days just to see if anything interesting happens between now and the race. And if it doesn't, then we've just had a nice chat, a lovely sit around and see what's happened. There's something in our inbox. Is it important? We have a low stock of suspensions, but I have a feeling we've got a third one already. I do have a feeling we already are on our third iteration. We are not, apparently. We probably should do some building of that. We've got no manufacturing capacity anyway. It's fine, we'll just have to hope they hold together. Right, let's carry on, shall we? Let's keep going forward to the race. Manufacture of our front wing is complete, so we can actually now build some suspensions, which is probably a good idea in the grand scheme of things, just to make sure we have some. Rumour has it suspension makes cars better, is a thing I've heard. I think I read it somewhere once. We're going to go with a normal approach, because I'm not in a hurry for them. Even if we break one, it'll only be one this race, I would think. So I'm not going to panic too much, is what I'm saying. Right, what's in the inbox? Another one about the front wing. Beautiful. Okay, I know. I built some. I was there. Okay, right. 5 days till we go to Imola, and we are coming towards the practice sessions and sorting out our sponsorship obligations and all that good stuff. We're going to come back to a brand new design being complete, which is nice. Scouting is complete on the drivers we were looking at. We were looking at Jack Crawford and Hunter Yaney. Because, of course, I've said I want to get a couple of good American drivers in, and Jack Crawford could be the business if he can work on that braking. Keep an eye on him. Wait for him to be available for us to choose, because I'm pretty sure he's not. And let's see what Hunter Yaney is saying in terms of his ability. He definitely won't be available to sign this season, because he's got another year left in F3. Doesn't quite look that good yet, but we'll see how it goes. He's rated as having a high development rate. We'll see how that looks. No one's interested in negotiating right now, which is interesting. But that's fine. We're not going to worry too much, because that is another problem for another day. Right, let's look at our race performance targets. But let's have a look at the actual race preparation, because the things we need to know here are the expected strategies. So it's looking like either softs or mediums to hard is going to be the way forward. Compound performances, well, we're probably looking at, it's probably going to be softs to hards if we can make that go for us. And we don't have any historic results, previous results. What was I looking at? I was going to look at the time considerations. Right, time considerations. Pit lane, green flag 24 seconds, safety car 20 seconds. So it's not as big a gain under a safety car for a pit stop as it usually is at Imola. That is good information. Right, let's look at the performance targets. Now, I've said I'm going to aim for top 5, and I meant it. I'm going to try and get our car in the top 5. That is my plan. I know, don't laugh. Qualifying wise, I'm going to play it safe and say we're going to get both cars in the top 10. And then obviously both cars will reach Q2, because that's maths. We are going to say, I play it risky. I might guarantee a fastest lap. I might guarantee a fastest. I can't guarantee a finish position. I might guarantee a fastest lap, and I think we're at a stage now where I'm going to say both cars in qualifying should be making it into the top 10. It's bold. let's say top 11. We'll give ourselves a little margin of safety. We'll say top 11. Right, I'm going to go and do the practice and qualifying. I'll be back with you in just a second. So that's qualifying in the books then, and it's been an interesting qualifying session. We've had the ATA qualifying where you have the assigned tyre compounds. That's an experience. Anyway, let's look at the grid, shall we? Sergio Perez on pole, Carlos Sainz in second, Charles Leclerc in third, Lance Stroll in fourth. Kevin Magnussen, I said we'd get top 5. He got fifth, and also is the fastest through sector 1 consistently. George Russell in sixth, Hulkenberg in seventh, Tsunoda in eighth, bit of a jump for him, with Gasly in ninth and Hamilton in 10th, and yes, we are still looking for Max Verstappen. Alex Albon's in 11th, Logan Sargent's in 12th, Fernando Alonso is in 13th, Max Verstappen starts in 14th. It was a mixed bag qualifier, he didn't do quite so well when it was raining. Ocon starts 15th, Piastri 16th, Norris 17th, Bottas 18th, Zhou Guanyu 19th, and Nick de Vries starts at the very back. So without any further ado, let's go to Crude and Crofty, shall we?
Here we are, folks. We're back for another day of scintillating F1 action. It's race day.
Imola can really reward consistency, as Nigel Mansell showed here in 1992 when he became the first driver to ever win the opening 5 Grand Prix of a season.
Now then, Karun, what's the feeling in the Haas garage likely to be at the moment?
To be honest, I think they'll be feeling great. The mood amongst the team has been very strong recently, and they'll be hoping to deliver again today.
And seeing it all come together is sure to be a thrill. An exciting race ahead for us here at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix.
So indeed, an exciting race in store for us at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And we have rain in the air, which will make things interesting. So the first thing we're going to do is check the strategy and check the weather report. And it looks like we're going to get early rain, which is always a blessing. The question is going to be, how rainy is it going to be? I think we're going to select this strategy to build our base off of, because that feels smart. We'll try and match up to the rainy period. So I think that's probably going to be mostly inters. This is very much going to be on where we play it by ear, I think. We'll plan to be on inters for that stint at least. And we'll go from there. Whichever version of wet we're on, we're going to go, of course, full pelt, and we'll do the same for the first stint because there's literally no point taking any risks. I think with the final stint, we can probably get away with a bit of a push, but of course, again, we'll adjust that as necessary. That looks pretty strong. I think we'll do that with both drivers just to kind of settle ourselves into the race. I think there's going to be some early positions we can take. I think it's going to be a big case of who gets onto what tyres when, who gets the luck of the draw with the weather, will play a big part in this one for sure. So we're going to go full send on the rain for everything, because that is always a good shout. And as I said, hopefully we'll do okay. I think with the fuel, because it's going to rain quite heavily, we're going to get the fuel back, so I'm not going to put extra in, but I am going to use some early on, and we'll claim it back while it's raining, because that's usually a good time to claim it back. So we're going to go full push for the beginning. If we have to proper save later in the race, that is a gamble I'm willing to take, but I don't think we are going to go for proper save at any point. I think that's probably unlikely. As I said, you do get a lot more back in the rain than you would otherwise. You use a lot less fuel, so hopefully that will even itself out. We can be light when the tyres are, or when the rain is falling. Anyway, without any further ado, back to Croon and Crofty, and let's see how the race shakes out.
Here in Imola, the drivers are ready to take on the 63 laps of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Many people here and at home are wondering what the Haas driver can do.
Starting 5th is great for them. If they play the race right, there's a real chance to score a good result today.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Lights out and away we go. In fact, before I get too much engine roar going on, I will kill the engine noise a little. I need to figure out how to do that properly with settings and whatnot, but we'll get there in the end. But I do need to tell our drivers to be aggressive on the overtaking, because this is our best chance while it's still dry and we're on soft tyres and we're really pushing the fuel to get everything we need to out of it. So in fact, we're going to do the overtake button too, because there is absolutely no sense in us trying to hold back at this stage. As I said, we'll get all this back as the race continues, and this is going to be probably our best chance of getting on a fastest lap. I can't see we're going to put another set of softs on, so we will go from there, see what happens, and I hope we can get a good result from this. Hulkenberg has already lost a position to Tsunoda. Great start from Yuki Tsunoda. But Magnussen is in fourth and has taken the place from Stroll, is chasing down Ferraris, and looks like he might be feeling this one. It's just a suspicion, but it looks like he might be feeling this race, which is what we need from him. He's going to have a look at the inside. He's not quite got there, but you know, plenty of time to go. We're just trying to stay in touch long enough for it to be dry, essentially. I want to get in a nice DRS train, get a bit of a gap to Lance Stroll as quickly as I can for when DRS gets activated just before the rain period, and then hopefully we'll be in for a really, really good finish to the race. I think Hulkenberg might get the luck of the draw with the rain, just because 8th place is a quite good place to be in changeable conditions. Gives a little bit more flexibility to get him in either for an early stop onto the wet tyres or for a big stop onto the just a good stop. It looks like we're going to go for reasonable rain, so I don't know if we're going to get to full heavy rain, but I think maybe we'll try and see it out on inters. Kevin Magnussen taking the fastest lap that I promised there. Beautiful stuff. And Lance Stroll is slowly being dropped. Let's go to double speed, because we are just waiting for the rain to make things more exciting, if I'm honest, and that's sort of how this first 2 laps goes. Now, it would be nice if we could stay with with Leclerc, with Sainz and with Perez. It would be nice if we could stay ahead of Verstappen as well with Hulkenberg, because once it rains, everything equals itself out. We all know that in F1. A little bit of rain, and suddenly having the best car means absolutely nothing, and passing becomes significantly harder. We'd love to get a podium today. I don't know if we can get a podium. We'd love to get one, but we can certainly do something to get some good points today. I feel like Hulkenberg, we're going to drop back to him a second. He is really struggling to get himself past Yuki Tsunoda. It's really interesting, because that car's not very good at all, or hasn't been very good all season, the AlphaTauri. Looks like it might be coming alive here at Imola, which is interesting, because if it comes alive at Imola, it will come alive at Monza, which is a whole conversation for a whole other time. We're going to take the neutral battery, because that's a good idea. Rebuild that as best we can before the rain starts coming down. As I said, we are going to be running light on fuel. We can get it back. I'm not stressing much about the fuel just yet. But Hulkenberg is staying in touch with Tsunoda, and hopefully we'll get an overtake done here under DRS. Magnussen will be having a look as well. I don't think he'll make that pass on Leclerc just yet. I think Hulkenberg is our best chance of an overtake. So he goes late on the brakes into turn 2. Is it turn 2? Turn 3? I always forget. Whichever the first chicane is, you know what I mean, into Tamburello, and we are carrying on our merry way, and hopefully Hulkenberg can use this. Let's go off into the off-board camera. Hopefully Nico can push on from here. He should be faster in pure flat-out pace than the AlphaTauri. He should be able to pull away. Of course, with DRS, that is, of course, a big question mark, but he should be able to pull himself away from Tsunoda quite comfortably. And Magnussen saying in clean air he'd be faster, but he's got to go and get his own clean air, because I can't do it for him. I'm not driving the car. We should be significantly lighter than Charles at this point. So you'd hope, I say significantly, 5 or half a kilo lighter. It's quite a lot of speed in Formula 1. It's quite a lot of pace. We're going to have a look through the chicane. Not quite. Did think he maybe thought about it there, although Leclerc is about to fall out of DRS range, and that will make him vulnerable to Magnussen possibly going for that cheeky podium. I think he's got himself back in it now. He hasn't. We've got DRS on him. He doesn't have his rear wing open. We're going around the outside into Tamburello, and we have taken third place. Kevin Magnussen, for the first time in a very long time, sits in a podium position. We're going to watch that off board for sure, because that was pure magic. Magnussen opened DRS, goes round the outside, and frankly, that is about as good as it gets for Haas. We have overtaken the Ferrari team, our sort of engine supplier, our parent team, I guess. The team there is a close tie with. We've beaten them on their own turf, on their own terms. And now we get to chase after Carlos Sainz. Is there potentially another pass in the offing here? We're nowhere near the raining period here. We've not had any sprinkles of rain, not any warnings of rain. Hulkenberg is currently catching up. We'll stay on board here, but Hulkenberg is currently catching George Russell and should pass him under DRS here as well, which could be very interesting for our race. But we'll try and get further up the podium. We're not going to get there. Hulkenberg, has he got past him? He's not got past George Russell. Magnussen keeping Sainz honest, and Perez honest for sure. It's we're definitely looking faster than a lot of our competition at this stage, which is good. Let's say that it's just going to take the right strategies today, and I think there's some big points available to us. We just need the right thing, the right rain, the right start to the rain at the right time, and I think we'll be in an excellent position to really do some damage. 4 minutes till the rain now, which is about 3.5 laps, which should bring us in nicely, actually. We should just about be able to get both of our cars in and out, as long as there's no pit stop errors. And we should be laughing as Hulkenberg has overtaken George Russell. We'll take a look at that. He's done that under DRS as well. And Nico Hulkenberg is absolutely flying today. And I think he will be the biggest beneficiary of us double stacking under rainy conditions. I think he will gain massively from the rain, purely because we can double stack, whereas Ferrari can't. And there's no one else ahead of us that can really. Stroll maybe, but no, we are the best placed to do a double stack successfully without costing any of our drivers any time, and that is potentially a very important thing for us. But we are still up there with Sainz and with Perez, and Leclerc only just behind us. Hulkenberg has a little bit of a gap to Stroll, but he's built a gap to George Russell, which is exactly what we were hoping he would do. We cannot complain with everything going to plan for us at the moment, and we are gaining on Stroll, which is even better. So we'll have to see how that goes. We're going to try again for the overtake under DRS, try and close in on Sainz. Sainz is having a look at Perez. Are we going to maybe swoop in and take something here? We're not. We're too far back, but we are still close enough to survive in third place without Leclerc getting past us on DRS. As I said, it's very much a case of when is the rain going to come? That is the question. We're going to go double speed again, purely because, as I said, the rain is going to be what counts here. I think it is going to come down heavy. It's going to come down very quickly. I don't know if it's going to get too wet enough for us to be concerned about inters, but about full wets, but we'll see how that shakes out. I'd rather be on inters for a couple of laps and have it. Oh, what the hell was that? My word. My word. How badly damaged is Kevin's car from that? Because that looked savage. Front wheel. I mean, we're going to have to bring him in anyway, assuming he's not out. So we'll change the front wing. I am going to take a little gamble. Because there's a VSC out there, let's take a little gamble. Because we've got to get something back here. We're going to go on inters, and we're going to save them as best we can. We're going to try and conserve some fuel, and we're going to have a little bit of a kind of top-up run. There is method to my madness here. It might not seem like it. There is some method to my madness. Let's see what that crash looked like off board, because that was crazy stuff. So Sainz is just doing his thing here. Have we locked up? Has he locked up? We've locked up into the back of him. I think we're probably going to take a penalty. Hopefully we'll be able to continue. That'll be the key thing, although I wouldn't object to a Ferrari not being able to continue. Hopefully we'll be able to continue. But I want to get in, get these Inters on, knowing they're not going to overheat massively. Ah, Magnussen's out. It was almost worth the gamble there. Almost worth the gamble. I am now thinking. Let's have a thinking. We're going to try and get Hulkenberg into the pits this lap, if there's still a VSC, because the time loss when it starts raining won't be as much as the time loss. We'll come back to a 5-second time penalty later, that makes a difference. Yeah, we've got a minute left. We're going to do it. We're going to come in for the Inters. We're going to come in now for the Inters at the end of this lap, as it starts raining. Either the other teams aren't going to spot that it's about to rain, or they'll spot it too late. That's my thinking. Let's see how it goes, because we'll start seeing the rain any second now, that's for sure. And if it falls at exactly the right time as we pass pit entry, if it falls at exactly the right moment, we're going to profit. It's coming down now. Is anyone ahead of us going to gamble on the pit stop? That's the question. Because we're still in a good place to get Hulkenberg on a podium, which is one of my goals for the series. Is anyone else coming in? No, we're the first ones in to come onto Inters under a VSC. Minimal time loss. Rain is coming down. This could be the gamble that changes everything for us. Because if nobody else gets into the pits before this VSC ends, we're absolutely laughing. Because they're going to be all the way around the other side of the circuit when they least want to be in this weather. And where are we on the graph? We're probably actually heading to wet, but we'll make it up here. It'll be absolutely fine. We're going to make it all up. We'll make it all back on these Inters while we can. I think we've played an absolute blinder there. I think that might be one of my best strategy calls I've ever made. And I'm hoping I'm going to get proved very right. Because if I don't, I'm going to look really silly. So we're going to hope for the best. We're going to keep going towards the VSC ending. There we go. Beautiful stuff. And we'll get our tyres up to temp because that's going to be important. We've got our fuel back, which is nice. We'll get full deploy and we're going to see ourselves fly. We are going to be on the back of the train very quickly, and I don't think those guys are going to get... I'm pretty sure we've made gains here. I'm pretty sure we've made big gains here because everyone in the lead is coming in. It's a 20-second pit stop, a 24-second pit stop in green flag conditions, as we know, and we are undoubtedly on the better tyre right now, I would like to say. I think we're on the better tyre. Everyone is coming in. People are going to double stack. We're going to make some hay while the sun is not shining. And let's see where we come out. We're going to come out behind Tsunoda. Tsunoda, has he stayed out or is he just... There are some people just staying out. Tsunoda has stayed out. It looks like Norris has stayed out, which is going to be a mistake. We're in net second. That is an absolute blinder. That has worked out perfectly. Unbelievable pit stop for us. Let's get past Lando because he's got no business being there right now. I know the track's not technically damp yet, but he's got no business being there right now. And Tsunoda's not going to get a free pit stop out of this, so we should be okay. What tyres has Sergio Perez got? He's got Inters as well, so everyone is thinking Inters. That's good. We're into the crossover now, into the damp period. We should start taking Lando Norris very quickly, very seriously, after a couple of corners now. We should be good. Come on, push, push, push. Push, Nico. It's okay. You can do this. He's on dry tyres. It's a wet track. Please don't let Sergio Perez disappear into the distance. Good. We're going for it. Round the outside, and we are away and in net P2. What an absolute blinder of a strategy call. I am very, very pleased with that. We are keeping Lance Stroll behind us. Tsunoda's in. We are going to finally take P2 on the road. And we are catching up with Sergio Perez. And actually, I forgot, we can in fact super push these tyres. It's not a problem for us to super push these tyres and see if we can't get ourselves onto the back of Sergio Perez. The yellow flag out there somewhere for someone. Don't think it was for anyone important to our race, but we're going to keep going for it. Lando Norris had a pit stop issue as well. Absolutely bottled it of McLaren. And we are looking very, very strong at this point. That is exactly what we want to see. We're going to go out to a neutral for the ERS though, so we don't fully waste the whole battery. And, well, that was very well done. I am happy with that. I'm very happy with that. And we just have to keep an eye on the rain now, because if that rain is going to get to serious times, we may want to think about coming in for a full wet, but I don't think we will. I think we're going to be okay here. Stroll is catching us, but, you know, if you'd offered me a podium before the lights went out, I'd have ripped your arm off. So I am absolutely fine with that. I think this is going to work out absolutely perfectly for us. Let's go to double speed or all the speed. Why not? Because we are just kind of waiting for Lance Stroll to have a little bit of a look at us. He is there. We can see in the mirrors. We are being dropped by Perez, but that's not really the story. Max Verstappen, by the way, outside the points. That is a story. But the story isn't really Lance Stroll. The story is Nico Hulkenberg doing what Nico Hulkenberg has never, ever done before in his career as a race driver, or as a Formula One driver at least, and finally breaking his duck on the podium. It looks like what is about to happen. We are only 14 laps into the race, so we're not even quarter distance, but you know, if Lance Stroll passes us, Lance Stroll passes us. As long as George Russell stays behind, I have absolutely no problem with that. So we're just going to keep ourselves going. We'll watch the replay when we get there. Looks like Stroll is getting dropped, which is beautiful. That was exactly what I wanted to see. And Hulkenberg now free and clear in second place, just waiting for the rain to stop, which is going to be somewhere towards the end, sort of lap 48-ish. At which point I might be able to get us on for another cheeky set of softs. That could well be a possibility. I don't mind being dropped by Sergio Perez either. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. Let's go back down to balanced fuel because we can still keep saving. There's a yellow flag out there somewhere, but I don't know who for. I think it was for Lando Norris. I think he's just having a bad race. Alex Albon, well, he's let Verstappen into the points with that. That's an error, but, you know, errors get made. Lance Stroll is now 7 seconds behind us. That's absolutely ridiculous. And we are actually not far behind Sergio Perez, if we're completely honest. We're not doing too bad a job of keeping up with him. I mean, being 3 seconds behind a Red Bull is actually quite special. I think Lance Stroll cooled his tyres off a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. The track is starting to dry up again, which is a choice. I don't think it's going to dry up completely. We're going to start coming up to lap Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc is going to have a look at Lance Stroll, which will hold those guys up fighting. George Russell well out of it as well, which is beautiful to see. The laps are taking almost a half distance, and the gap has been very consistent all the way through, which is exactly what we need. I think I'm going to drop that down to a standard because those tyres are not holding on as well as I thought they'd be. At all. That's gone badly for us. We'll be completely honest, that's gone really badly for us. But it's okay, we'll try and glide it home and hope for the very best once we've got the tyres back into temp. Rain has stopped. Has rain stopped, or has it just temporarily stopped? That's the big question, because if there's going to be no more rain, I want to get on dries before Sergio Perez does. We've dropped to 8 seconds back, so we must have had a bit of a moment. Let's go for a push. I think we're going to go one more lap and then come in for softs. I think that's going to be the way forward. I don't want us to follow Sergio onto softs, you know, go into the pit at the same time as him, but this is looking a lot like the rain is done. So we are going to come in next lap probably for a set of soft tyres. Maybe a touch early, but I was trying to say a set of soft tyres. Let's consult our strategists on the wall. 44 for a set of mediums. It's 30. Let's play it safe. Let's go for it. I say play it safe, let's go for it. I might be a lap too early. I might be a lap too early, or I might be absolutely laughing all the way to the bank with this one. Stroll and Leclerc are catching, but they're still fighting. DRS will be enabled shortly. None of these things are big problems for us because we'll just do what we need to do. In fact, let's do some deployment just to keep that gap to Lance Stroll because we're going to need it. In fact, let's take off battle assist as well because that's unnecessary. We're just trying to gain time. We're not trying to fight anyone. We're just trying to gain some time on Lance Stroll. I think it's going to be a touch early on the dries, but I don't think it's going to be like egregiously early on the dries. I think we're probably going to be okay. Let's power through a little bit just to get the most out of the tyres. That's not a problem because it will help us get temp into them coming out of the pit as well. We will drop that down to neutral because that will work out just fine for us. And it looks like Perez has stayed out. It might be a couple of laps early, but I feel like if we don't do something different, we're going to get hurt. So we may as well take this gamble now, take the pain now, knowing we'll be on dries at the right time when the crossover happens. Let's see, good pit stop here would be nice. And it has been a good pit stop, a 2.514. What are we saying for that in the overall scheme of things? Are we saying that was a good choice, a bad choice, a mediocre choice? What are we saying? We didn't get the fastest pit stop pop-up, so I guess we'll never know. Fernando Alonso has passed us, so has Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, but and I'm not concerned. I am not concerned because we will be in a really, really good place come the end of the race if we just kind of play this one safe, play this one easy. We'll be in a good place to get some good points. And it looks like everyone has stayed out again. Track condition is now changed to dry. No one else is coming in, which is curious. Are we going to gain a big bunch of time? I'm going to switch into gap to leader because we're 41.8 seconds behind the leader right now, which feels a lot. But if only Valtteri Bottas is coming in, maybe we're okay. Let's just zoom that one forward, see how that goes. We are going to lose some place up into fourth. That's fine. Sergio Perez must have stayed on Inters to not be in that mix. He has, so has Fernando Alonso. We are making this very interesting for ourselves. Fernando Alonso is going to come out maybe ahead of us, maybe behind. It's very tough. He'll come out behind us, right? Behind us? I don't even know. I can't tell. No, he will come up behind us. We're going to be behind Lance Stroll, so the undercut hasn't worked. We did go a little bit too early. Sergio Perez is going to come out well in the lead. Sergio Perez has won this race, barring catastrophe. But we did overcut Charles Leclerc, which is nice. I'm guessing he didn't come in yet, so we're okay. We are just looking to see what happens now. Perez should be just coming out of the pit lane, and we'll pass Alonso in the pit lane, and now we're on the back of Guan Yu Zhou, which is nice. Okay, we're doing well. We're doing fine. We're doing okay. Charles Leclerc is a distance behind us too. 5.6 seconds. That's quite tidy. We like that. We'll take that quite happily. As I said, these tyres will make it to the end, so it's just about what we can do once we get to the back of Lance Stroll. Let's just go zooming forward. Let's save ourselves some time and some life and some energy, and we'll see what we can do here, because Stroll is sort of catching Perez, but isn't really catching Perez, and we're being caught by Charles Leclerc. Nico Hulkenberg's podium dreams could be about to get ended by a rampant Ferrari. That was all too predictable, if we're quite honest. That was quite predictable, but we've done everything in our power today. And as I said, I feel like if Magnussen and Sainz hadn't come together, we probably would have been for sure taking home a podium. But again, it's the story of Nico Hulkenberg bottling a podium. And I hate having to say that because I really think he deserves one, and we've come so close to delivering him one that it does seem unfair that he's not going to get one, because Charles Leclerc will pass him, George Russell and Max Verstappen may well pass him, before this race is through, but it's a good battle at least. He's doing well with the defending. I don't know if I can tell. If I tell Hulkenberg to defend, he is going to get passed by everyone, I think. So we just have to go for it, and this will be the pass here. It's just going to happen. It was almost inevitable, quite frankly. DRS is available too, so who knows? We might take third place back, have a bit of a game of leapfrog with Charles Leclerc to get us up towards Lance Stroll, who is somehow the fastest man on the track, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Somehow the fastest man on the track. We've got DRS. Can we make this work for us? Let's go on board. Why not? See if we're going to stay within range of Charles Leclerc. I'd like to think he should be able to, but probably not. I think we're just going to get dropped like a stone here. It was inevitable, and now Max Verstappen is going to be on the back of us, just to make our lives even more difficult. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for from this race, is Max Verstappen coming along to make our lives more difficult. We are barely going to make it to the end of the race on these tyres, so we've been lied to about their tyre range. But that's alright, that's fine. We're 15 to go, and we're probably top 6 finish is going to happen here, which is more or less what I was looking for before the race. You know, the podium was a nice dream, but it was never going to happen once Verstappen got some clean air ahead of him. He was always going to catch us up. That was always going to be the way. I'm really sorry to break it to you. We were never ever going to stay ahead of Max Verstappen when he was on a run. Hopefully Lance Stroll is going to get dropped out of the podium places though, because that will help us in the constructors. George Russell is going to have himself a look at us at some stage as well. That's fine. I was sort of thinking, is there a nice gap there to drop into for a fastest lap attempt? But there probably isn't. So we won't do that because that would be stupid. And we don't do stupid as best we can, except when I make a pit stop 2 laps too early. But either way, we're on our way. We're on our way. We're fine. We've lapped up to 16th as well, which is honestly quite impressive for us. So we'll take that. In fact, we may have lapped even further up the field than that, but I'm just not really fully sure. So that's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We're looking fantastic in this race. We're going to finish top 5, top 6. Yellow flag's out. Didn't get the red flag that would have really helped us out. But we're still up there. Yuki Tsunoda has had a hell of a race, considering he was way up there with us before, and now sits in 12th and is spinning like a top. We are still ahead of George Russell, and we're making this look good, which is nice. That's beautiful. We are still just cruising in on our tyres to the end of the race, which again, all the magic we need just to cruise in on the tyres to the end. Last lap underway. Sergio Perez is 18.5 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc. Lance Stroll hasn't been caught by Max Verstappen yet, which is going to almost certainly mean he gets a podium. We haven't been caught by George Russell, which means we're taking the 5th place I thought we could get before the race, which, nice prediction by me. I thought I was being a tad optimistic, and obviously the lack of a Ferrari in there has helped with that, but as Nico Hulkenberg starts the last lap, we're going to push his tyres to the maximum. Why not? Let's just rip whatever is left out of them and take them home, just to make sure that George Russell doesn't get any crazy ideas about trying to pass us for 5th, because that would be almost offensive with the drive that Hulkenberg has put in so far. As I said again, very unlucky today not to take a podium. Has to be said, he looked like he was a shoo-in. He clearly wasn't a shoo-in, but, you know, dipped a little bit of his toe in. Felt what it felt like to be on the podium or in the podium places racing for the first time in a little while. And he's not dishonoured himself by finishing in the top 5, quite frankly. It was better than most people would have expected of us coming into Imola. And at least he finished, unlike his teammate who decided to smash up Carlos Sainz when he was in the podium places, because apparently just couldn't handle the pressure. Kevin Magnussen unable to handle the pressure is what we've learned today. But we're about to come around the last couple of corners, ready to cross the line for what should be a very, very well celebrated 5th place. And I feel like this is the perfect time for me to prepare to hand you back over to Karun and to Crofty. So, enjoy the post-race shenanigans.
Nico Hulkenberg's put it all together for the perfect drive today.
An outstanding performance today to have made the top 10. Not many would have expected this from the team, to be honest.
Pure elation there as the driver regroups with a team that worked so hard to see this moment. No stranger to the podium, the Mexican driver now takes his place after another remarkable race.
What an excellent way to take a second win of the season, with a composed performance today.
Well, Formula One certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those three feel right at home too. Now, Karun, I'd be really keen to know, how do you think the Haas team will be reflecting on today's results?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there, though.
And that's about it for our time here in Imola.
For the next Grand Prix, make sure you join us at the renowned city circuit of Monaco. Prepare yourselves for one of the most legendary rounds of the season.
So Monaco it is then, next time out for us. And we are definitely looking forward to that one. Confirmation then of Sergio Perez winning. Leclerc in second, Stroll in third, Verstappen in fourth, Hulkenberg takes fifth, Russell sixth, Hamilton seventh, Gasly eighth, Alonso ninth, and Ocon rounding up the points in 10th. In the drivers' standings after that, Nico Hulkenberg moves up into a tasty 9th place, which is pretty strong for him with his 10-point haul. Kevin Magnussen drops down too, so they've just kind of swapped positions, which is nice. Nico Hulkenberg, in constructors, we are still in 5th, but we have extended our lead over Alpine, which is all we could really ask for. In terms of the fastest pit stops, we have still not got ourselves on the board yet for any points, which is sad. We are 2.491 with our first stop. That was 0.08 of a second outside of the top 10. We're nearly there. Right, drivers wise, we have had a mare with K-Mag. The reserve driver did not do anything at all weekend. And we are going to happily accept the $4 million-ish that we have brought in, because we are going to have the ability to design ourselves a brand new part to wrap up this episode. And it's going to be a question of, can we get more speed? Just more speed out of the car is what we're really always looking for at any given point, because that's kind of winning it. It's a chassis. That's obviously a good thing, because that chassis will help us all out. So let us get that built if we can. We can't, because I'm doing underfloor design. Good stuff. That's not even going to come in before Monaco, but that's okay. That's fine. We will design something else. In the meantime, we can always emergency build something if we have to. Right, let's look at where we are on the grid. And it really is, top speed is going to be our issue. We are somehow, because let's put the car back together, and then we can work out where we actually are on the grid. That's a good idea. So we're going to swap that one out for one of part 3 for now. That's okay. That'll be fine. We'll swap that one out because I need to see exactly where we are on the grid before I make any changes. We will do that. I just replace the part. It shouldn't be difficult, right? There we go. We'll replace that part. We will put a replaced side pods on there as well. Beautiful. Okay, we'll probably have to build some more side pods before the next race. That could be interesting because we don't have any spots. We'll get over it. We'll replace that. It'll be fine. We only need one set if there's an accident anyway. Right, let's go back into our development and see how that looks for us. Okay, so designing parts, and now car 1 performance. It is top speed. It's top speed and it's low speed. That's kind of where we're struggling. We're not a bad overall package right now, but it does feel like it's front wing time, doesn't it? It feels like we need a front wing. We have got some ATR left. I'm going to put 2.1 into the CFD hours, and then we'll put half of whatever we've got left in there. So that was something I didn't look. 28. Oh, there you go. Landed perfectly for me. Okay, so we're going to look for some low speed performance. I think that'll really help us with everything. We will drop the lifespan down because we replace these all the time. Let's do that. That'll be fine. And I would like us to try and get some more airflow sensitivity out of it if we can. That should help with something. Try and keep the dirty air tolerance to a minimum. That could be quite magical. We'll do that because that looks like it will help us a lot. Can we avoid losing any high speed cornering? We can. Okay, we're going to go with that. That will be perfect. That will work out nicely for me. We like that. We're going to stick 6 guys on that. We are going to intense it. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go intense, just so we get the maximum gain from this part, and then hopefully we'll be in a really good position. We'll have to take a little look at the inbox just to see how that goes. We have got car part inspections. We've got something about Gabriele Mini, whoever Gabriele Mini is. I feel like it's a name I should know, and I don't know why I don't. He's Italian. We can't sign him. He's not American. That's the rules. Inbox-wise, we've seen the Italian feature race results. There were... See, Maloney did well. That's the best for our drivers scouted. Right, so looking ahead to Monaco then, if we have a look at the analysis for Monaco, we are saying that we are probably going to finish somewhere around 7th, apparently. That's nice and easy. Somewhere around 7th is the plan, unless I can get a new chassis on the car and it gives us a speed boost. But we'll see how that goes. Right, anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. I have, as always, been Chasing Laney. Do leave a like, a subscribe, a comment, ring the bell, all that good stuff down below, ready to be told when the next episode comes out. In the meantime, though, thanks for watching. I have been Chasing Laney, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Have a good one.